Yeah, I still got the audio. As I was saying, like, you're just going to have to put a picture of me.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, here's Frozen Alex this time, not Frozen Philip.
There's no Frozen Alex. There's no Alex at all.
Just you lost the whole video?
Yeah. Told you. Just put a picture of me.
And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of V Time, episode 145. We got a good episode for you today. Good amount of leaks from Set 7, some interesting and fun news, as well as other announcements in here and there.
Fun news.
Fun news. But without further ado, without any dilly-dallying, without any holding up, let's go straight into it. But before that, if you're interested in buying any cards from TCG Player, please use our affiliate link down below.
Your purchases through this link help support the channel, so we work great videos like this straight to you guys.
And with that scripted part of the way, let's go straight into the leaks, starting us off with some common support for Eugene Best Deck.
Best deck, Eugene.
All right, Mr. Enthusiasm, let's go.
Beautiful Bullet of Duststorm Jody. Act Rearguard once per turn. If you have a Vanguard with Eugene Best Deck and its card name, costs Soul Blast 1. Choose a grade 2 or less card, normal unit other than a Sentinel from your drop zone and put it to the top or bottom of your deck.
So it either puts a card at the bottom so you don't deck out, or, just puts a card on the top so you can call it.
With Eugene, yes.
Overall, a really good card for a common.
Yeah. And then, we'll talk about this later, but we're going to get even more good cards for this deck.
Yeah, no kidding.
Next up, we got Dual Electrus Dragon. Continuous Rearguard during your turn. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, gets power +5. It's 13k grade 1. Love how we're seeing this trend of all these decks getting these 13k grade 1s like this.
I mean, set 1, we saw 10k boosters for each nation. Now we're seeing 13k bodies for each nation.
Put them together and you can hit over defensives.
Oh, there we go. Simple, straightforward. They're commons for a reason, but we're going to move on to some more commons that have better reasoning, in my opinion, but also kind of space. We got some Ketter Support. Silent Sorrow Dragon. It's a common grade 3. Continuous Rearguard. If your other Rearguard was retired by your card's ability this turn, this unit gets power 10k, and it's active during your opponent's turn too. So it's a 23k body, which is not a bad number in all honesty. And of course, we can kind of figure what deck this goes to, primarily PBD, but technically it can also go into Thegria.
Mm-hmm. It's funny, your opponent's turn too. We talked about a card earlier that drew your card if it was during your opponent's turn. Same applies here. If you use that Blitz order for PBD, it's a defensive +10.
Exactly. So overall, not a bad card, but finding the space for a 23k beater is always going to be hard. We're going to move on to another common, Knight of Stabbing Sky. Ooh, Scofisa.
Stab.
Stab. Act Rearguard. If you have 3 or more grade 3 or greater units, can cost retire this unit. Choose one of your opponent's Rearguards and put it on the bottom of their deck. So it's a 1-for-1.
You're never going to use this.
No.
You have an order that tucks the whole column instead. You don't have to waste the Rearguard to do it.
Yeah. It's literally just that. The order does it for 1 cost, but it's an order, it's not a unit. But this is literally a 1-for-1. It's like, I'm going to discard this basically from my hand to make sure you lose one of your pieces. Now, granted, if you play against X-Overdress or Overdress, then it's value.
I still think the order's better.
Fair enough.
You're not sacrificing more grade 3s in your deck to do the skill. And you get 2, you have to call them.
Yep. Anyway, moving on to the last common. Dismembering Knight. Titatus. Anyway, auto. What?
Glad you're reading that, not me.
I know, right? Auto Rearguard. When your critical 2 or greater Vanguard attacks, Soul Blast 1, and this unit gets 5k until the end of turn. This is shit.
This is good for PB Overlord. Man, about Overlord, because he gets a base 2 crit.
Yeah, but still.
Things up. If for just a Soul Blast for +5, though.
Yeah, I'd rather play a promo that, granted, we're never going to get in English yet. That, the second my Vanguard just swings, it already gains 5k, but can also gain that same 5k with rearguard swings.
Yeah.
So Blast 1 to gain 5k, and only if I meet the condition of being original critical too. Yeah, no.
Granted, it doesn't have to be original crit. It says if you're critical.
Yeah, but when you're critical to Vanguard attacks, it needs to swing with a critical. And in Ketter, the only one that can really do that is PBO. Theggery on the second swing if you rip the crit. Or Zest. And I'm pretty sure you don't want to Soul Blast and Zest.
No. I already have enough of that already.
And there we go. Anyway, we're going to move on to the Tuesday stream as well as the episode reviews where we saw some Leonorn support. Now, I want to say this. I don't know whose fault it is. I'm not going to be pointing fingers, but we were put under the assumption that we're going to see Yu and Leonorn support because that's what it said on our Discord wiki, whatever thing leak. I don't know who put that there, but there was no Yu support, and I was disappointed. But we did get some good Leonorn support in there, right?
I mean, you saw Yu support. You saw a newer card flip for like a split second in the episode, but never got to see its effect.
Just read the name cards.
Sympathize DP. Decibel, pretty much. But play this with Counterbust 1. Draw a card. Choose a card from your hand. Call it to rear guard or discard it. If you called it until the end of turn, the called unit cannot attack and get power plus 10,000. Now, on paper, this sounds pretty good. Because it's like, cool, you get the Vanguard's ability on the card, and you give it plus 10, but it can't attack. That's all great and all, but it doesn't give boost. And, with cards we're going to talk about, it's like, giving boost is something would be great.
You mean
especially
like
if it's a grade 3 or graders.
You mean like that interesting grade 3 we saw last week that does give boost?
Yeah. Still, I don't know. I feel like the other order is better because it actually pluses you 2 instead of a +1. This card just balances out. You don't really plus.
The other order is a little bit better. It's a bigger gamble, but against decks that can just retire your entire board, it's a good way to just, here's my board back.
Yeah. But then again, orders in Leonorn is kind of weird already anyways.
You're not wrong.
This, on the other hand, is really good.
And yet you decide to not to put it in the deck.
I had my reasons. And I'll explain why here in a bit. You got Festoso Dragon. Auto, when this unit is placed on rear guard from hand, if you have a Vanguard with Leonorn in its card name, cost, Counterbust 1, look at 3 cards from the top of your deck. Choose up to 1 grade 3 or less card from among them and call it to rear guard. It gets boost until the end of turn and then discard the rest. So you're asking earlier why I didn't run this. Mm-hmm. And the reason why is because you discard the rest.
So?
And it has to be a grade 3 or less card.
All right.
So if you rip all triggers off of this card, you're forced to call a trigger or just discard all of them.
You're not wrong.
In my playtesting, it happened a lot more than you think it did. And it was it's got to the point where I was like, I'm getting annoyed with this. I'm taking it out of the deck.
Why'd you bring your Zorga luck into Leonorn?
But otherwise it's a great card because if you call the grade 3, like I was talking about before, it's like, cool, you give a boost. Now you're boosting with the grade 3. If you boost with the card we're going to talk about in a bit, it becomes an 18k booster.
If you boost with a card that comes with the card that we talked about a bit, and you don't have to swing with it. There's a lot of ifs, ands, or buts. Anyway.
But yeah. Speaking of which, Resonance Dragon. This is a card you want 4 of. And if you're playing 4 of, then something's wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it is a triple rare for a reason.
Continuous rearguard. If you boosted 3 or more times this turn, it gets power +5, so it becomes 18k on its own. And then auto. At the end of the battle, this unit attacked a Vanguard. If you have a Vanguard with Leonore in its card name, and your unit's boosted a total of 5 or more times this turn, cost Soul Blast 1.
Nope.
Put this unit Counterblast 1, my bad. It's Counterblast 1. Put this unit into your soul. Choose one of your rear guards and stand it.
Correct.
Hello, Inlet Pulse. You found a home in Leonore finally.
You know what's the fun part? We've already recorded and posted that video. A lot of people are not liking the fact that you're running in the post because they're not agreeing with it.
Really?
The reasonings I've seen so far is the Inlet Pulse as on its own is just a 13k. It doesn't gain enough power to merit it restand, and the only thing that you're getting off of it is a draw and soul. But to get the combo off, it is very high rolly because you need to see both cards. You can kind of relate to that, don't you?
I understand that, but at the same time, like, what are you running over Inlet Pulse?
A lot of people are recommending a card called Crudisol. Let me see if I can find it.
Oh, the guy that gains +10 or something stood that turn?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's an extra 7k. I guess. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like having the draw is nice. Plus, Inlet Pulse gives you soul, so you could use more soul effects. Like, I didn't run it in that build, but in other builds I probably would have, and that's running the saxophone guy that we saw before.
Yes.
So that way you have like a way to retire things, but you'd have the soul because Inlet Pulse would actually net you soul to do that.
Like, it's an option.
It's options.
Like, don't get me wrong. The people that have been saying that, it's like, okay, I can see your argument.
Yeah.
But you're not giving me a full-on argument to say don't run it at all. Like, it's an option. Like, I can completely see running Inlet, and I can completely see not running Inlet. It's just player preference at this point.
Exactly. But yeah, like, it's a restand in a deck that now has, as you would say, didn't need a restander.
Very much. I will say something. In the gameplays, I figured, like, man, Leonard got really better, and it's keeping a hand size. Later, I found out why it was keeping a hand size. Someone was forgetting to ditch for the cost.
Look, all right, I was too busy trying to figure out how to get both a dig for my Inlet Pulses I was missing.
Man, if only you had a grade 2 that can look at the top 3 cards and potentially call it to the back row and give it power.
All right,
or
look,
boost.
okay. My Zorga curse went to Leonore. If it's not Flagberg, I'm cursed.
Anyway, that's been it for the Tuesday stream. We're gonna move on to the next couple of leaks with an interesting new deck without a ride line. Technically, this can be considered honestly as a budget deck or as a finisher in some versions if you want to put it in. We got a very interesting card in Demonic Blade of Cutting Sky Transrotor. He's a grade 3 with an Act Vanguard ability. Once per turn, Soul Blast 6 grade 0 cards, Soul Charge 6, choose 6 of your units, and they get power 10k until the end of turn. So 666. This is a very interesting card for standard because it reminds me so much of stuff like what was the original Royal Paladin card that we got in V at the beginning? Soul Saver.
Soul Saver? Oh yeah.
Because it also gave everything power, and it also had technically a Soul Blast 6 type of cost.
I love how this is a less high rolly version of Chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Because it still gives the same power, but for a different kind of cost.
Now, I will say there's an interesting thing that might happen with this card, and it'll very much depend on the Jujul support. Because we know Jujul's getting a restander. If it's going to be Jujul restricted, then we're not talking. But most of the cards have not been Jujul restricted. They've been restricted to if your Vanguard Soul Blasted 4 or more this turn.
So you want to hear a funny thing with this is having 2 Bodus on your front row? you Soul Blast the 6 grade zeros. Bonus triggers, right?
Mm-hmm.
You put cards back into your soul, and then you counterblast to retire twice. Because, and then Bodis will gain +5 from his own effect, right?
Yes.
So he would be a 28 on his own with this skill and his.
Good sir, you're thinking too little. You know what? The first thing that I saw when I saw Soul Blast 6 and then Soul Charge 6? Brainwash gaining 30k.
This man.
But it's an interesting card for a budget deck. Like I said, the jewelry standard is going to very much dictate how good this card is. Because if it works with a jewelry standard, just bumping it up with power and having 5 attacks, potentially 5 attacks that are good numbers. I mean, as an option, it's not a bad option. As a common Vanguard, I don't know what they were thinking with this card, all right?
They're trying to explore design space is what they're trying to do.
Speaking of cards that explore design space and a card that goes kind of with it, we got Inhale Pit. Act Rearguard once per turn, Soul Blast 1 or more grade 1 cards, choose 2 grade 0 cards from your drop and put them into your soul.
Hey, look, it's a way to fix what you were trying to do.
You're not wrong, but at the same time, choose 2 grade 0 cards from your drop. Yeah, at the same time, it is a fixer, but it technically is a +1 to soul from drop. Like, you can technically use this in certain decks and just go up in soul from drop without soul charging from your deck.
Or it's even funnier is you use the Vanguard skill because it's an act. Soul Blast the zeros, and then if you soul charge it a grade 1, you can Soul Blast the grade 1. Soul Blast or...
You Soul Blast 1 or more cards, so you can Soul Blast your whole soul if you wanted to.
It has to be only grade 1 cards, though. But anyways, like, you Soul Blast the grade 1s, and then you replace it with grade 0s.
Overall, not a bad card. Like, you think about it, like in the other decks, it might be ran. Just like Soul Blast your grade 1 ride line and put 2 grade 0s in. You're basically going up 1 in soul.
Yeah.
Plus, you're not soul, like I said, like you're not soul charging from your deck, so you're not decking out faster. I don't know. Maybe you'll see some play, maybe it won't. But then we got the whole staple of Steam Shooter Quantum. Continues during your turn. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, this unit gets 5k. You're 13k common, grade 1 beater, booster, whatever you want it.
Yeah.
We've seen so many of these cards. Moving on, though. We got some interesting Gravidia support.
Oh.
All right, good. So
this one.
You take this because you got all the
other one.
info.
The other one's the one I want to talk about, so I'll let you cover this one.
Okay, fair. We got Gravidia Arnhill. It's a grade 2 double rare. Continuous Guardian Circle if your order zone has a meteor, which is never going to be hard. This unit gets 5k so shield, which means it's a 10k shield. Not bad for Gravidia running so many orders. Auto, when this unit is placed on rearguard, reveal the top card of your deck, put it into your order zone if it's a meteor card, put it on the bottom of your deck if it isn't. I like this effect for 2 reasons. 1, it adds your meteors if there's meteors, but 2, it puts put it on the bottom of your deck and isn't. Okay, never mind. I'm double reading it.
Yeah. I can tell you now, there's going to be one person that uses this. And they look at the top card of their deck and they go, well, there went the over triggers at the bottom of my deck. Guess I lose.
Yeah. I will say, like, if you see a normal unit off of this ability and put it at the bottom, it just helps you feel like, okay, cool, there's a normal unit on the bottom. Chances of triggers are higher. It's a weird double rare. It's a very weird double rare.
The other one, on the other hand, is not a weird. This is a rare and a good one at that, for reasons I'll explain afterwards. Gravidia Element. Almanon. Act Rearguard 1. When this unit attacks, cost Soul Blast 1 and discard a card from your hand. Choose a meteorite from your drop zone and put it into your hand, and this unit gets power +5 until the end of that battle. Now, normally this sounds like a kind of okay card.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the time, you're probably just going to discard a meteorite to get a meteorite back. And it comes Soul Blast for +5, which we already talked about how bad that is. But you can use cards like Penguin to make it a plus, because Penguin could technically fetch you a card. Or from a nifty combo I've seen on the internet, there's the card from BTO1 that when it's discarded from your hand, if you have a set order, you can counterblast to call it to rearguard. So, in a sense, you technically have multi-attack now in Gravidia.
I will say this. There's two reasons I don't see that combo being very good and been played at because of that. One, it's pattern of attacks. So with Gravidia, right now, your pattern of attacks is always going to be Vanguard first because it really depends. Because your Vanguard is always going to be double critical, and then there's certain cases where you get rid of 5 meteors or get the number to 5, you're getting double triggers. So being able to put those double triggers on 2 of your rearguards instead of just 1 is overall just better. With this, your pattern of attack is either Vanguard first, your rearguards that potentially got triggers, and then the last attack is going to be that called unit that's going to be just a 10k unless you keep a booster or unless you Persona Road. And then if you swing with this first, you have to swing with something else first, which means that 10k grade 2 body is only going to be your last attack after the Gravidia.
So normally I would say yes. But if you're playing this in a Gravidia world deck, most of the time you're not stretching for the 5. Most of the time you're stretching for a 2, a 3, or whichever one gives you the crit.
Yeah.
So essentially you're just trying to pressure out. So having an extra attack helps you pressure out. And this doesn't even have to be locked to a grade 3. You can multi-attack at grade 2. So it helps you stretch early in. And you can't give the actual like crits effects and everything, but you can still give the powers to the booster that this can boost.
You're not wrong, but at the same time, you got to keep that booster, which means if you're keeping the booster, your first attack with whoever's replacing that card is going to be very weak.
Yeah. But if you're on a Persona right turn.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's factors. I'm just saying it's possible. There's an option.
To me, the amount of times this will be good is outweighed the amount of times it's dead. It has too small of a window where it actually works, which is the problem, which is one of the reasons, honestly, you're not seeing this same combo in Orpheus Regus. Because Orpheus Regus discards a card for his attack, which technically means even if you can only generate 1 Shadow Army token, with this combo you can still get 2 attacks. But then you're calling just a 10k. You're not doing much with that 10k. You have to save boosters. And not to mention, the other reason why people are not running it in Orpheus is because of CB. And Gravidia has the same CB. Don't touch Gravidia CB. It needs it to even get rid of meteors.
Like I said, I'm sure somebody out there is going to figure it out. There's an opportunity somewhere there.
People have figured it out. They're putting the boosters at 6 triple rare that comes out of drop zone when you play an order. And it's a 20k beater. People are running that now. Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So this can be a fun video for me.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We're gonna definitely try to put both of these into the deck to see how they work. Might not be the best optimal deck, but hey, we gotta test stuff out. Speaking of testing stuff out, let's look at Bear Magnus now. Because Eugene got him some support, Hexor got herself some support, Bear Magnus kind of felt left out, so why not give him some support? And oh boy, is the support fucking good.
This is some good stuff.
This is some good spice. Anyway, we're going to start off with the order. Yes, we got a new order. Magna Reversal Breaker. It's a grade 3 common order. I don't know why it's a common. I grant the Pandemonium was also the common.
It's a rare. This could have been a rare.
Regardless, this is basically the card that's going to be replacing Pandemonium. Play this with Counterbust 1 if you have a Vanguard Bear Magnus in its card name. Soul Charge 3. Choose one of your Vanguards. Until the end of turn, it gets continuous Vanguard. If your soul has 10 or more cards, all your front row units get power 5k.
It's a half persona ride.
So while you're sacrificing the one soul charge that Pandemonium gives you, you're getting a half persona right. I feel like that's a better outcome. Bear Mag has got more enough cards to kind of replace the whole soul charge mechanic. You can figure that stuff out, but this is going to just give you that extra little push power, especially on your first few swings if you don't have Brainwash out and the boost for stupid numbers.
Yeah.
Anywho, that's not all we saw. We saw another grade 3 rare, Attract Inverse. Auto, when this unit is placed on rearguard from Soul, if you have a Vanguard Bear Magnus in its card name, discard a card from your hand, choose a grade 2 or less card from your Soul, and call it to rearguard in the same column as this unit. So it just gives you an extra little booster behind her, or something else, or maybe just a better attacker out of your Soul if you want to put it in front of her. The implications of this card, honestly, there's so many of them, it just comes down how you use it. Anything to add, Mr. Frozen?
I mean, that's pretty much, you said everything I was going to say.
Well, you want to talk about the last one then, about Allylic Rusher, the grade 2 double rare 2k base.
Yeah, sure. It's
auto, hold up. Auto rearguard. When this unit attacks, if you have a Vanguard Bear Magnus in its card name, this unit gets power 2k until the end of battle for each card in your Soul. So what card is this reminiscent of, Mr. Former Grand Blue player?
Former Grand Blue player? This is more of like the Angel promo for the DI back in the day.
I was talking about, Skull Dragon.
Yeah, it's kind of like Skull Dragon, but at the same time, I feel like this is more similar to the Angel, but a little bit better. See,
most of the DI stuff when it came to this kind of effect only gave 1k power for each card in Soul.
Yeah.
This is 2k. This is, I have Bear Magnus's condition of 15 cards in Soul. Here's a 32 attacker on his own.
Yep. That's not including the 5k that your order just gave to the front row.
And that's not including if you call this out of Soul with Bear Magnus and give it another 10k.
10k, yeah.
So big. I think your ride line grade 1 that was previously a staple of 4 of, so you can have a 28k beater.
Turned into this.
Yeah, turned into this.
Granted, this is only good when you call it out of Soul.
No.
Right?
Good sir, when you attack.
Which one attacks? Oh, never mind. Yeah, this
is good, period.
Yeah, this is a great overall.
Like, even if you brick, this is still a 14k attacker just by the ride line. Ride line's effect, you're going to get all the way to 6 cards in Soul without any other help. You play this boy down, he's already gaining 12k, making up 14k. Just because you have 6 cards in Soul already.
I mean, it's just pretty much what's it called? Like it's basically like the Rummy Prison Dragon. Where you're like, oh, it's a 5k base. It's gonna be way bigger than that 5k base.
That's what I said, and someone tried to contradict me.
You said Skull Dragons. You said Skull
No. When we saw it leaked in the episode, and I was like, whoa, what is this unit with 2k power?
I will say, I'm a little sad because in the weird pixely the picture we saw, it looked like it said 2 crit.
I know, right?
But it's not.
No, it's not. All right, last bit of support for Stoicheia. Alex, take it away.
Fraternal Maiden, Auricilis?
We'll go with that.
Yeah, whatever that is. It's a grade 3 auto when this unit is placed on rearguard from hand. If your Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, cost Counterbust 1, Soul Blast 1, discard the top 3 cards of your deck. Choose a card from drop and call it to rearguard. And if it's a grade 2 or less, and put it onto your hand if it's the same grade as your Vanguard.
Yeah, no. Good sir. Reading is hard. If it's a grade 2 or less card, put it into your hand if it has the same name as your Vanguard.
Oh.
So you call it to rearguard if it's a grade 2 or less, whatever you choose. But if you choose your Vanguard, you put it to hand. It's basically a Persona Ride Fisher.
Yeah. I don't know if that was correct. Like, I get it. You get to call a card from your drop. It's basically a body on top of what do you call it? Regurgitation from the underworld.
Yeah.
With a mill. But at the same time, like, you have to place this from hand.
I'll say this. This card is not bad. Mill 3, okay. Persona Ride Fisher, cool. Call another unit for Counterbust 1, Soul Blast 1, not bad. I don't think you need to fish Persona Rides. That 10k in Zorga especially, it's not going to matter that much. You're already getting good enough powers. Milling is it's not hard. You're doing that already.
The only deck I can really see this going is inside of Rora. Because it is a way to dig for your piece if you're missing. And not even in now, because you have your order to really fix that now. So you really don't need this anymore.
Like, so the last point I want to make, if you're going to use a Counterblast and a Soul Blast, run to Trial Deck Grade 2. It does the same effect for a Counterblast and Soul Blast, call something from drop, and gives it 5k.
Yeah. Because, like, even if you were to use this in Leonorn, right? Your ideal target would be the Grade 3 to restand this. But you can't call the Grade 3 to restand this.
No, you can't even call the Grade 3. It has to call a Grade 2 or less.
Exactly. And it's like, cool, well, you're calling a booster that you probably could have used the same skill of like a Soul Blast or the only reason, a single Counterblast.
The only reason you would run this in Leonorn is to get your Persona Ride, so that Persona Ride turn can be something.
Even then, it's like, is it really worth the Persona? Fish out of Persona Ride for a Counterblast Soul Blast Mill 3?
Look, man, they made it a triple rare, so maybe there's some potential we're missing here, but it's triple rare in the set now.
Okay. I mean,
anyway,
it's a good generic card, I guess.
Speaking of generic cards.
Ferocious Hunter. Auto rearguard. When this unit attack hits a Vanguard, choose one of your rearguards and it gets power +5 until the end of turn.
Say it with me. It's a common for a reason.
It has to hit. Could just run Adamantus instead of running this.
Hey, at least we're getting a bug theme of power 5k.
You're right. You're getting that kind of thing.
Overall, that's been it for the leaks. Some interesting stuff here and there. Next week, Tuesday stream, however, we're getting some goodies. And when I say some goodies, we're getting Rika cards from the episode, which is a...
Youth!
Exactly. There's a good chance we're going to be seeing Tempest next week.
Oh, I'm ready.
You are Hector.
Oh, I'm playing that.
There we go. And then for the next Thursday stream, more hype. We're getting 3 cards to support Eugene, and they added this little nitpick into it. The number of attacks increases? ?
Eugene best deck, let's go.
Ooh, that's gonna be some video.
Oh my god, like I've been really hyped to play Eugene because I'm like, oh, finally we're gonna get Eugene support. Like the only that you can finally make him playable again, and now they give him multi-attack. I couldn't be a happier Eugene player.
Good sir, I think you're misunderstanding something here.
Eugene, yeah, multi-attack ?
I'll be playing Eugene.
Why?
I'm sorry, you got a gut. You're not strong enough to play Eugene.
Listen here, buddy. I will get those gains between now and then. You just wait.
Been bulking up. I will play best deck.
I will get those gains. I will join. I will run that marathon.
I've been prepping and training for Eugene for months now. He's mine.
I will fight you. If it used to be a Eugene.
Anyway, if you liked all the cards we just mentioned, go check out Triple Sleeve TCG.
They got great deals on singles, clan splits, and even cases. So go check out their website.
Link will be in the description. Now, I've been kind of farce. There is not much news to talk about. There's a couple of things I do want to mention. First off, there's this only one picture that we actually saw that's kind of news, and we're getting sleeves.
Yay!
There's set 7 sleeves of the main ride lines that are going to be dropping in set 7, all but a Ketter ride lines. Well, technically only 2 new ride. Words are hard. We're getting Velstra, we're getting Juju, we're getting Tempest, and we're getting the new Verena. Leonore, I'm sorry, you've been forgotten.
So I have a theory about this, and I'm curious. Velstra, how many triple rares did he get?
1.
1 triple rare?
I think he is the only triple rare. I think. I don't know. That's what I'm checking right now. Give me a minute. The only triple rare for rank that we've gotten was... Okay, yeah. Velstra was a triple rare, and the grade 2 that can operate one place was also a triple rare.
Cool. That also answered my other question, because I was going to ask, how many triple rares does Dragon Empire have left? And he has 2. I'm going to laugh.
I just had it open. Yeah, 2.
And I know that for sure, what's his name's getting 2, right? The Dark States guy?
Yeah, he's probably getting... He got himself, and then he's probably getting the Restander as a triple rare.
So, does this mean if the trend follows with the rest of this stuff, that Youthberg's getting another triple rare alongside a Tempest?
Good sir. I'm sorry to say, Barry Magnus only got a double rare. Oh, shit, you said Youthberg. I thought you said Eugene.
Yeah.
Maybe. We don't know. It could be a Bastion. No, Bastion got a triple rare, remember?
Yeah, 1 triple rare so far. There's still 2 triple rares left in the set.
Hey, man, maybe another Hexo card.
I'm just saying, because it'd be... Why these 4 getting it, you know?
True. Well, only time will tell. The only other things we got to mention is... next week, in 7 days, I will be in Germany. So come, Woo! If you're going over there, come by, stop by, say hello and all that. Yeah, that's about it. BCS Germany is happening in a week, and I'll be there.
Yay.
And
as long as flight problems will happen.
Yep. And then last bit of news that I want to say I wish we put at the beginning, because I doubt anybody stuck along this long to the end. But we just put out a couple more sleeve designs as well as a new playmat on your playmat. Our partner, our sponsor, our people that help us.
So long story short is we have merch.
Pretty much. Oh, merch. We have sleeves and a playmat. So if you want a Top Deck experience and relive some memories or quotes, go check out that website. Get yourself whatever you want. Any purchases do support the channel, so keep that in mind. But overall, just if you like anything that's up there, go right ahead and take it. Or not take it, buy it. You know what I mean. Anyway, with that being said, I think we're going to end this episode here. There's not much else to talk about unless Alex's frozen face wants to add something.
Yeah. If you want to have black magic, you can now have sleeves to represent black magic.
Hey, Ace Power. Without a you will fail.
Dude, I am getting Ace Power sleeves for Eugene because you got those gains. You gotta have. We'll play Eugene.
I love if you're flexing on camera, but they can't see it.
I know.
Anywho, with that being said, we're going to end this episode here. Thank you everybody so much for watching episode 145 of V-Time. If you liked the video, please leave a like, share with your friends. Comment down below what you think Eugene's support is going to look like, or if you're excited for BCS Germany. Other than that, if you like what we do here, subscribe to the channel or ring that bell to get notified. Maybe even follow us on follow us on Twitter, join us on Discord, watch us on Twitch, and like us at Facebook. But with that, I've been Philip.
And this is Alex.
Frozen Alex. And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Woo!
Now you can't see me waving.
No. I love how whenever I got frozen, we found out later. And this time when you get frozen, it's like, yeah, we know you're frozen.
Yeah.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Thanks, Beta.
All right.
All right.